Hi everyone, how are you doing today? Today we are going to talk about the newest launch at Ulta called the Flesh Cosmetics, and we are going to discuss the foundations to be exact. And that's because when I saw the ad in my email, the packaging made me think that it was a drugstore launch and it was a stick foundation, and I was very interested in it because I did try out the Makeup Revolution stick foundations that just launched and I just could not find a color match. So I was like, okay, these guys have 40 shades. That looks promising. And then I got a big shock because the foundations are $18. It is actually L'Oreal. They have launched it and it's supposed to be their high range brand, I guess.
Sorry guys, editing pals here. It's Revlon, not L'Oreal.
Given that for $18, this is what you get. This, like this. These are the other stick foundations I have. Okay, this is from Sephora. This was about $18. Anastasia, this one was $25. Tarte, I can't seem to remember how much it was. It was on the higher side. But these are, the other foundations, and this is the Flesh foundation. Let me take it out of the packaging. In this one, you get 4.6 grams of product. In both the Anastasia and the Tarte foundations, you get 9 grams of product, so almost double that. The Sephora gives you about 11.5 or so grams. So this is way more expensive than even Anastasia, okay, by price per gram. I'll have the price breakdown on the screen here, but usually I'm willing to spend a little bit more on foundations to get a better match, and also because it kind of covers your entire face. It can break you out and lead to more problems that you don't need, right? So I was like, okay, it's fine. If it's $18, I'm gonna buy it. They have 40 shades. I should support brands that do that. So I have ordered them. I have the foundations here and I have 4 of them and we're gonna test them out. So the shades I have are 14, 15, 16, and 22. The names are Butter, French Toast, Apple Strudel, and Cookie. From left to right, we have 14, 15, 16, and 22. Now looking at them in the camera, I think 22 is where I might be, and even darker maybe. And given that they have 40 shades, maybe I should have stuck to the mid range around 20s. So this is 14. Okay, it's not like that off, but it's light. It could be kind of like a highlight shade. 15. Okay. 16. Okay, they're very close to each other. I really can't tell. And then 22. Okay, let's blend it out before I jump to any conclusions. Okay, so let me show you 14, 15, it is 15, 15, 16, 22. Okay, as I blend them out, they're turning much lighter. So I'll have to go with 22 today. Okay, let me go with 22. What was I thinking? Actually, you know what I was thinking? I couldn't really see the numbers when I was picking out a foundation on Ulta. Ulta, if you're watching, you need to change that. So I'm using the e.l.f. Hydrating Primer. I have repurchased this, by the way. I just ran out and this is like a fresh bottle that I've opened. I'm using the Hydrating Primer because I want to give this foundation, given that it's a stick foundation, as much as of a fighting chance that I can. Okay. I was out in the sun yesterday, so you can see that now I have slight bit of tan going on there. Wow, it's like when you apply a foundation stick like that, it kind of brings all your flaws in focus. Oh, by the way, I have a little bit of the Born This Way concealer under my eyes because I was like, I don't want people to just focus on my dark circles and my camera get thrown off of its white balance. Kidding. I think it did blend out nicely. I think it blended out as nice a stick foundation I could expect to blend out. I don't see any patchiness, grabbiness kind of, but the coverage is really low. I feel that the coverage is like very low. Let's see what it says. Okay, so it's described as medium coverage with luminous dewy finish, not chalky. I agree with that. True color clarity in shades carefully created for every skin tone, da da da. Added pigment intensifier to prevent ashy finish in dark shades. Okay, okay. And fragrance free, and so on and so forth. Looking at the ingredients, I don't see anything that is kind of jumping out at me, as better for your skin ingredient or horrible for your skin ingredient. So nothing like that. So they say it's a buildable coverage. So let's see if we can kind of build it up around my chin area. Looking at my neck, I do feel that this is slightly lighter for me, and I might have to go a little bit darker. Especially now that I have been sitting and running in the sun yesterday. Okay. So on my nose, I do feel that it's not blended out as nicely, and it's getting a little bit weird. Why? Why just the nose? Show you guys that. Can you see on top of my nose? It's like doing some really weird patchy grabby business. Is my nose like extra dry or something? Yeah, I don't like it on top of my nose. Usually these are the areas where I don't like, stick foundations or like really high coverage foundations, but my nose is like, oh. Maybe my nose is kind of extra burned. I don't know what's going on. Let me get the e.l.f. hydration stick and try going over and then applying the foundation again. Maybe that is what the problem is, like my nose being so out there. Got some extra burn yesterday and is extra patchy today. Still doing that, but it's better, which makes me believe that it could be my skin problem. Yeah, it's just not flying. I'm sorry. I'm gonna let it be there for a little while and then we'll see, okay? I'm gonna do some contouring with my e.l.f. sticks. So the contour did blend out, pretty easily with it. I am really liking its finish on my face. I just don't know what's freaking going on the tip of my nose. Let me try using a beauty sponge. I'm using a dry one. I just wetted it, sorry. Okay, so I can't seem to make it even on the tip of my nose, but everywhere else it's looking nice. And given that, I think it is actually a problem with the tip of my nose right now. So let me just lightly powder it. I usually go ham with the velour puff from my e.l.f. powder, but because this is the stick foundation, I'm going to use like a fluffy brush and just lightly dust it. I'm trying to add enough that I'll prevent it from moving, but at the same time, I don't want to make it cakey. If it's cakey, it should happen on its own, and it hasn't happened so far. Okay, so I'm kind of happy with that. So let me finish the rest of my face and I'll be right back. Okay, so let me give you guys one more up close look before I zoom you out, and yeah. I have added a little bit of blush. I added some of the NYX No Filter finishing powder, and this is the deep golden shade. I really have been liking it for my bronzer. Then I added just 2 shades of eyeshadow on my lids to create like a natural look. Overall, I should say, despite of what it's doing on the tip of my nose, I'm really liking its finish. So at the end of the day, we'll find out, how it goes. I'll try to do a couple of check-ins on the way. Okay. For some reason, I'm getting slightly itchy feeling right there. And otherwise, it's okay. I've just been home. It's been about 4 hours since I applied the foundation. Hey guys, the time is now 8:01 p.m. and I wore this foundation at around 8:30 or so. So it's been a good 11 and a half hours that I've been wearing it. And the only thing I've noticed actually is that I was getting slight, kind of itchy feeling right there. I don't know if the foundation is to blame for that or not. But that's the only thing I have noticed so far. I have been home, I haven't been out much, so it's one of the hotter days, okay, in the Bay Area as well. Now, the only thing that I'm noticing is that there is a slight kind of flaking, like my skin is slightly dry around here. I usually don't get that if I'm not wearing a foundation, and usually if it's a very kind of hydrating foundation, this doesn't happen, but it has. But given that this is a stick foundation, I think it's a pretty good response from my skin. I haven't felt any dryness per se, and that's very unusual. Usually stick foundations, they can give you very heavy coverage, and heavy coverage comes with kind of dryness, and I haven't felt the dryness in my skin, which is a big plus from me. I'm not noticing any creasing or any kind of significant, settling in creases kind of a thing in it either. One thing I'll say is that it is definitely a medium or medium to low coverage foundation, which works very well for me. I like foundations like that. I don't like a very heavy coverage. But if you are a person who's trying to cover up certain scars or, hyperpigmentation, it might not work. It did not work when I was trying to kind of, cover up some flaking or whatever was going on with my nose. When I'm looking at it up close right now, I don't notice it. Like, I don't know if that skin just kind of rubbed off throughout the day or what. There's like slight amount of like dry skin that the foundation is clinging on to towards the tip of my nose, but that's about it. So my final thoughts are that, except for the fact that it is really expensive, it is at par with the Tarte foundations. I like it. I actually like the way it feels on the skin for a stick foundation. Another thing is that it comes in a very, very small size. If you are a person who uses foundation very regularly on a day-to-day basis, that might be an issue because you might need to repurchase it often. But for someone who only wears it occasionally or likes to carry a lot of foundations, it's a good thing, because then you're not paying double the price and keeping a lot of foundation in stock when you might not end up using it by the expiration date. In terms of building up the coverage, I think it might fail in that department. Yeah, I think once you try and go beyond a certain amount of coverage, it might start becoming kind of patchy or, uneven. So I think what they have said is correct in terms of coverage. And even in terms of undertones, I think they have done a pretty good job. And yeah, I think Revlon, you've done good this time. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to blend this one out. So as you can see, like, this area has most definitely faded now that I have just added on a whole new batch. Anyways, that's my first impression per se, or one full day wear test of this foundation. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Thank you again for watching. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. If you hit the little notification bell, YouTube will tell you of my future videos. Otherwise, it will not. So please ring that notification bell. All right. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.